Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Unfiltered podcast. I'm your host, Jake Kempf. We have truly a very special guest, one of the funniest men I've ever known, one of the best people I've ever been in the ring with, and just an overall good guy. We're here with Little Mike. Little Mike, how you doing this evening?
Yo, man, enjoying a beautiful Wednesday night, man. Can't complain.
It's a good Wednesday night. I do agree. Question, because it is Wednesday night, have you seen any of the wrestling that's gone on tonight? Dynamite or NXT?
Not really, but what I've seen though is that Anna Jay has come back.
Good.
Part of the Casino Battle Royal this Sunday at All Out.
And I guess kind of a spoiler if somebody hasn't seen the show, tune this off if you don't want to see it. But Punk hit the GTS.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. And then freaking the Gun Club turned on the Big Show.
Of course, it was the Gun Club turning on the Big Show.
I mean, Paul White.
Paul White. Captain Insano.
Hey, I wish you could bring that gimmick back. That'd be
Listen,
crap.
If at All Out, I see Captain Insano versus QT Marshall, I will scream. But
here's they need Bobby Boucher.
If they get Adam Sandler,
that would be some cringe shit.
It would be cringy, but also at the same time, I would love it.
It'd be so like going back to the 90s.
I mean, we do it often.
That is true, man. The 90s, man, they were wild.
Now, I wasn't alive.
I wasn't either, but, my dad always told me some stories.
I've heard it was a wild time.
Yeah.
I'll share a quick story. We can get into this. When my mother was in college at Cumberland University, this is how 90s this thing was. She was watching the Snoop Dogg music video for Gin and Juice when the OJ trial came on. Like, she saw the chase in her dormitory, and she was like, "Can we just turn it back to MTV?" They try turning it back. Every channel has the chase.
Damn.
Interrupting the NBA finals.
Yeah, it was also the Olympics too was going on too.
Yeah, but no, you had to talk about this man that ran 11,000 yards killing his wife, and he got away with it. Anyway, let's move on to the wrestling. I want to ask you this: how did you get into wrestling?
So are you talking about like pro wrestling or backyard?
Just I guess start with pro and then go into backyard.
All right, so I got into it like I was about like I think 5 or 6, something like that, and it was Monday Night Raw, and it was
It's the Big Show.
Nope, it was an interesting segment was taking place. It involved Edge and Lita. Was
it the live sex celebration?
Yeah. Then there's a little nature boy coming out.
So let me get this straight. Your first segment into professional wrestling was watching the Edge and Lita live sex celebration.
Yes. Anyway, I was actually 6 years old. Oh no, I was 5. I'd be 6 years old.
That's for true. But that's I didn't know that. To shoot, that's one of the best things I've ever heard.
Yeah, Johnny, my mom and dad were like, "What is this?" Because I they never seen this stuff before on live TV.
On live TV, you got Amy Dubois and Sexton Hardcastle just going at
it. Yeah, especially when they're in that interesting position with Edge had Lita in.
Good God. Just chewing her down than a Jewish person on Christmas Eve with the Chinese restaurant. But so from that, you grew up and you like wrestling. Who were some of your favorites, and what were some of your favorite matches?
Hey, my favorite wrestler of all time. The second greatest wrestler of all time. Also, the man, the leader of the C Nation, John Cena.
Good choice. People give him shit, but he's really good. I've always said that he was good.
Hey, the charismatic enigma. Yeah, Hardy.
Dude, he rules.
Facts, dude. The fact that he's still wrestling now, dude, crazy. Despite all the crazy.
I remember on '03 Raw, he just came out one time and just like dripping in glow paint, having a seizure on the front ramp.
Oh my god!
And freaking Jerry Lawler's like, he's having a seizure, JR. Oh,
oh. Lawler for you. He was weird.
Lawler's crazy, but like, what's some of your favorite matches that you always go back to and you always can watch anytime?
The two HBK for his Taker matches at WrestleMania, like 25 was like pure wrestling clinic, and then WrestleMania 26 you got your full drama story.
Which is something that I think we can both agree on. Wrestling is the best when it's pure wrestling and there's story within it.
Facts. I mean, and plus that gives the crowd into it.
Okay, like with what we do, with like what we do, I think we always try to make a match, even if there's little story going into it. You always got to try to make that little bit of story that you could have mean the world.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and make the match better.
Exactly. Like you got to sell the match, make it important for the episode,
which is our main goal. But speaking of backyard wrestling, how did you get into backyard wrestling?
Oh, okay. Now
I want to hear this.
So this is like back in March 2017, junior in high school, pre-planned. Okay, this is a week before we went on spring break in high school. Well, I hurt my ankle. Okay, playing basketball with Buzzsaw Billy, Atomic Tire, and Josh and stuff. Of course, Josh just done left. It was just me, Buzzsaw, and Atomic Tire, and
the wheel Buzzsaw Billy.
Yeah, but like I just went over to get the ball, and the next thing I knew, I slipped, and I hear a pop.
Ooh!
I was like, oh crap! My immediate response was I had torn my Achilles or something.
Oh no!
Which it turns out it was just a sprained ankle.
Thank goodness.
Which because I was killing myself, like mentally, because it was a month before prom, and I was going to take this girl out.
My boy.
I was like, damn it! Because I really liked this girl at the time, and
yeah.
But anyway, move on. Also, Josh and Atomic are talking about having a new Fed, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I'm still in crutches now, and they asked me, "Would I join?" And well, I said yes.
And the rest is history.
Facts. Which interesting fact though, I actually kept being in the backyard wrestling a secret for a long ass time from my grandparents and my dad.
Yeah.
I kept it a secret, like, yeah. Hey, here's a tip, guys. Never keep secrets away from your parents. It does not work out well.
Never. No. I mean, I tried to keep a secret one time that on my TBW debut, when I slid into the ring, I hit my head you can't call it a mat, but the pallet. I had a big welt and a minor concussion, and I did not tell my mom and dad, and I cannot remember the rest of that week.
It was Summer Bash 2020.
It was hot as shit.
Right after Fat Asian, Josh had an Atomic Titan match.
I look back on that, and I'm rocking the weirdest fit. I got like the long quarantine hair and a fucking mustache, and I have like facial like around. It's like a fucking mustache. I look like fucking Kelso from that '70s show.
God, come on, man.
I do. And then I look back on like I was fat.
Why you gotta ruin my favorite character from that '70s show?
Okay, fine. I look more like Hyde when he grew the mustache.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's better. Welcome to Point Place. Don't date Kelso, but I will say, thank God that the concussions have been on the down low in UWA for the most part. Nobody rarely gets like rocked in the head, except for the first Warfare when it was J Phil and CJ, and you weren't there, but CJ kicked Mercer in the head so hard.
Oh my God! Then like the Battle Royal, Buzzsaw Billy and Logan Price butted heads.
Oh yeah, they did.
Dude, I know how they felt. Like Scars and Stripes 2017. This is me and Hillbilly Deluxe. We were punching. All of a sudden, our both heads collide. I was like, oh. So I know how that felt.
I think that happened during me and Robbie Andrews' last man standing match that one time. It was 2020. It was, I think it was this which spot was it? It was like the frog splash on the mattress spot.
God, I haven't seen that in a while, so I can't remember.
Well, like I went on top for a frog splash.
Oh, you'll be like Eddie Guerrero, dude.
I'm doing a frog splash in UWA sometime soon. I'm gonna call it to you, but I did this frog splash, and on the way down, like he didn't move all the way, and my head clipped something on him. It might have been like his forehead or like his elbow.
Ooh.
But the rest of the match is history with powder and Asian green mist, which is one of my favorite suggestions. I was just like, do you know how to spew mist? He's like, sure, bro, I guess. Sure, bro. It did well, no. But segueing from that, I do have to ask you.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing in UWA so far? Because I know mine. I know my favorite thing.
There's a lot of things we, bullshitting around and hitting random moves on each other.
Oh, yeah.
Filming. Like last filming, I gave you an RKO, but you didn't go down and your knee hit back in my head.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm sorry about that. I still feel bad.
I said RKO. And you don't even go down, brother. Who do you think you are? Hulk Hogan? Brother, no. brother.
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
Oh, it's not hot.
It's not. Okay, can we talk about that for a few seconds?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, just okay, for those who don't know, like our location, we live in smack dab of the South. Smack dab of Tennessee.
Facts.
So at least me growing up, I heard a lot about WCW. And I was like, I always heard from all these old timers about WCW was the best, and the WCW. I'm like, okay, I'll look WCW up. The first clip that I ever see is the Yeti dry humping Hulk Hogan in the back at Halloween Havoc 1995.
Oh my god!
What the fuck is this?
No, and then you got the giant in front of Hogan. It's just like a big old orgy.
This man fell off the roof 5 minutes ago, and he's fine.
Yeah. What sense was that? And he changed clothes too. He had time to change clothes.
This was the same night as the monster truck sumo match.
Yeah, of course. That
fuck were they smoking?
Dude, WCW was weird. 1995 was
1995 WCW can be viewed as like, unironically, one of the worst times. Well, you think Raw is bad now? You would see things on Nitro like Chris Benoit jobbing to like Prince Ikea in like 5 minutes. And you had Kevin Sullivan just being Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, him in the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh, okay. So then the Dungeon of Doom is where Hulk Hogan went, and he fell through some kind of crack in the fucking reality sphere, and then he just fell into this dungeon, and he's like, "Where am I?
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
I've never been here before."
And then he goes up to water's body.
Some fucking fountain.
Yeah, fountain. He's like, "Oh, it's not hot." Like what?
This fucking fountain they got at Hobby Lobby for like 95 cents.
Probably even worth that much.
And then the fucking Taskmaster and the big giant Samoan man covered in popcorn powder.
Yeah, that was just
okay. One of these days on Sweet Tasty Balls, we gotta do a Dungeon of Doom skit.
Yeah, but here's funny though. That segment though, we were watching it where you and Mason did a little clip in the woods.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, "There's no Hulkamaniacs there," and y'all just died.
I should have said that. I should have been like, "There's no Hulkamaniacs." Wait, wrong person. But that leads into, I guess, what's your favorite wrestling sketch of all time? Because and there's many of them. I'd say mine is when Shawn impersonated Hogan.
Oh god. Oh man. There's I met Reggie and I. When Team Hell No was a thing. They had that management classes. I thought that was some of the craziest stuff ever.
I used to have a girlfriend named Katie, but that didn't work out too well.
Like, you got a guy from hell,
Hell.
from Demon, and there's a guy, another guy that has a goat face.
Okay, you have the Undertaker's brother who was burned alive in a house fire, then came back to try to kill the Undertaker, but then won the tag team titles with him. And then you got the American Dragon Bryan Danielson in a weird shirt. Weird things going on here.
Then you got Scorpio Sky in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and yeah, wait, Scorpio Sky was in there?
Yes, he was in the classes, dude. You remember that guy they did a trust fall with?
Yeah,
that was him.
That was Scorpio Sky.
Yes.
Shout out Scorpio Sky, part of Dan Lambert's America top team.
It's just crazy, like going back to these random like people you see in AEW were in random segments on Raw or SmackDown.
Oh yeah, and I want to make this like I'm not going to be one of these people that is like AEW for the win, but like I do like what they're putting out. It's a very fun show. They got a lot of good people. They pulled off the impossible the other day. They brought back the Pepsi Man.
Oh yeah,
as Danhausen calls him.
Who was it? That guy? Well, it was definitely who was that guy's name?
Danhausen.
Yeah, it was Danhausen.
Yeah, Danhausen was like, "There's the Pepsi Man." I love Danhausen.
Yeah, but in serious note, dude, that pop from CM Punk.
I'll never forget where I was.
Yeah, like me, basically my best friend, brother. Yes, kayfabe is dead, so who cares?
Kayfabe.
Yeah, but like me, Lake, and Corey, we watched that to get on a group called Cena. We went crazy.
Okay, I was not home. I was in South Carolina, and I was watching Infinity War. And just when Thanos snapped his finger and like destroyed everybody, that's when Punk came out.
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh my god!" And my sister was like, "What are you marking? Is that CM Punk?" Even she was like, "CM Punk."
Like, dude, here's Cena. Before this entrance, I thought Punk was coming back for money though. Like, here's why though. Like, he was in his 40s. He was in his 40s, and like he's had a fail run UFC. That seemed like a unfortunate money. But then, I looked at the entrance, and I could tell he loved professional wrestling.
Again, and he gave one of the best promos I've ever heard when he said, "August 15th, 2005, I left professional wrestling, and August 20th, 2021, I came back to professional wrestling." That was one of the best lines I've ever heard. Man.
Yeah, they called out Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. That gave me chills, and then there's just fucking Sting chilling there, just like, hey, Phil.
Co-main event.
Really, you think that should be the main event?
Either main event or co-main event. Come on, it's in Chicago.
I would say co-main event.
Like, but here's the thing, though. Like, this is Punk's first match in 7 years.
Maybe it should be main event.
Like, I don't know.
But okay, then there's the big question: will a certain American Dragon be joining Punk?
I don't know. There's rumor that Andrade's supposed to face a mystery opponent at All Out.
I swear, if I hear the final countdown,
dude,
I'm going to nut.
Oh, hey, there'll be no busting nuts around here, boy.
No busting nuts, Mr. Squidward.
But like, it's seriously though, like, I actually listened to Final Countdown right before I joined this podcast. So,
but I will say, if Bryan Danielson shows up, first of all, what a get by AEW to get somebody who can help mentor people, but also put on great matches.
Yeah, but he's also going to be in Japan, though.
That's also good. I want to see that. I want to see Bryan, maybe not in the heavyweight division, but at least take on Shingo and like challenge for the heavyweight title, maybe.
I want to face guys like Okada.
My God.
Zack Sabre Jr. Will Ospreay.
Oh my God. No. Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson I would literally just, good God. I would sign up for New Japan World just for that.
But here's my only concern about Bryan, though. Like, me and Corey Lake have discussed this, though. Like, with Brian's history of concussions, though, like
Could he work the Japanese style?
exactly, like he loves that strong style.
And we don't want another case of Shibata.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I miss Shibata.
oh my god, dude. Here's the thing, though: if Shibata doesn't get injured, there is no King Mega as a star.
That's a good point. It's a weird domino effect of you have okay. When Shibata was going strong and I was just getting into Japanese wrestling, I thought he was the coolest motherfucker walking the face of the earth because he was a wrestler.
Yeah,
You
dude. Like,
know?
here's the thing: I'm at SummerSlam weekend 2019. Edge returned to that Spirit Alliance, and then a few years later, here goes Shibata getting physical with Kenta.
When Shibata came back and like the theme song hit and like the whole arena was like, oh my god, and I was like, oh, is that Shibata?
Yeah, with long hair, like coconut hairs or something.
Long-haired Shibata, but can we also talk about like do you know who Hayabusa is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So Hayabusa, Japanese legend, worked for FMW primarily, but he was paralyzed in a wrestling match. Well, a few years after that, he walked again.
Wow.
There's footage of it somewhere, but like everybody was there, like Muda was there, Liger was there, like everybody from every Japanese company was there, and that never happens. And they were all here to honor Hayabusa. Then Hayabusa just stands up out of his wheelchair and walks to the ring, and it was a moment. But
and imagine being,
everybody was crying. Hell, like look, a Minoru Suzuki was there, and even Suzuki was crying like a little baby.
hey, really?
He was crying. He was like clapping and crying. But I will say that Japanese wrestling is one of like that stuff keeps me alive, bro. Like I love all the Japanese companies pretty much.
What Okada and Omega did though,
I think that they raised the bar.
ooh, they masterpiece.
I think history will look at Okada and Omega as the same as a Flair and a Steamboat or a Taker and a Michaels.
Ooh, I don't know about that part, but
like modern Taker and modern Michaels.
Yeah.
In terms of the match quality, never matching to like their presence. They have their own presence.
Fact. But, a Rainmaker.
Okay. People are always like Okada should go here, like Okada should go there, but one of my dream matches was okay, and this will never happen. And if it does happen, call my bluff. I always want to see the face of WWE versus the face of New Japan, Cena Okada.
Really?
A one match card in Madison Square Garden. There should be like a ceremony beforehand with like Vince and the New Japan president shaking hands. Then Cena and Okada come out to big entrance, like big fight feel like entrances. Like I'm talking like UFC and like MMA like walkout vibes, Okay. And then they just have a match and I would give them probably 30, 35 minutes.
So there's already two matches though between WWE and New Japan we'll love to see. Okay?
Yep.
One man would be the ace of wrestling, Tanahashi. Take on the ace of WWE, basically, John Cena.
That was the other one I want to see was Tana and Cena because they would work so well together.
And then here's the other match. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But WWE called the so-called best wrestler in the world, Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
People think is the best in the world, Okada.
That would have been a good match. I would have seconded that match all the way.
Like, especially right now, though, with the Tribal Chief versus the Rainmaker.
It would make sense. I will admit, for a long time, I didn't know much about the other Japanese companies, but when I found All Japan, and when I found like guys like Misawa and Kobashi, that changed wrestling for me. I was like, what is like, and like seeing like, okay, do you know what the Burning Hammer is?
No.
Like, okay, so it's basically like an attitude adjustment, except it's like the guy is on his back on the shoulders and he drops them on his head. It's like a Death Valley driver, but like reverse, and it's only been hit 7 times in recorded history. It's one of the most protective finishing moves of all time.
That's crazy.
And okay, but just those matches, wrestling is a beautiful thing. We can agree with that here. It's something unique compared to most other, not sports, but wrestling is what I would call combat theater.
Right.
And people question wrestling, but wrestling can get you just as invested as like a Marvel movie. And I think they should be viewed in the same way as like a movie, as a story between good and evil or whatever.
The wrestling company for me that was a great alternative for me was TNA. When it was
TNA TNA ruled. I would say TNA from like 2004 to 2009.
they really hit their prime though from 07 to 09 though. They
Oh
really
my god, the 07 09, I will agree, because they had everybody good. They had Styles, they had Chris Daniels, who's underrated, Samoa Joe, low key, you know.
Kurt Angle.
Oh, when they Kurt had his best years in that company.
Dude, one of my favorite matches though was Lockdown 2008 for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. It
in the
felt like,
in the cage.
yeah, it felt like an actual MMA fight. They made it so realistic.
I love watching that match back.
You also got Kurt Angle versus Styles. Oh my!
Oh. Now there was only one thing I wish that would have happened.
What?
In TNA that we never got, but I just wanted it one time. I legitimately wanted, and this is just a pipe dream. This never would have happened. But there was a rumor for a little bit in like old TNA that they were going to get Jericho.
Oh yes, yeah. Right after like 2005.
And then they got Christian, and it got fucking made up for.
Hey, you know what? Christian got his moment when he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship from Slap Nuts himself.
Which I still think is the most prestigious title in wrestling history. It's the oldest one.
If you don't know what Slap Nuts is Double J, Jeff
Jarrett. I have a story about Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, really?
So when I took martial arts, my instructor, she had this story to tell me. It was 1994, and it was a she. She's still a good friend of mine to this day. She was in a gym in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
This is 94. In walks this guy, Zubaz, fanny pack. What I think she said it was a Garth Brooks shirt, long blonde mullet. It was Jeff Jarrett.
Damn.
And at the time he was wrestling for like Memphis.
Yeah.
So he was like the heartthrob of Nashville and Memphis. And she was probably I'd say probably 17 or like 16, and she was like, "I love you."
What a look.
She was simping for Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, simping, man. Simping ain't easy, man.
Oh god, simping ain't easy. Can somebody put that on a shirt? Simping ain't easy.
Yeah,
God,
man.
but just I want to present to you this argument about wrestling, and it's an argument that a lot of older fans will like present, that wrestling doesn't feel the same anymore. Do you agree with this?
So, in a sense, so I think the wrestling's a lot better though than it was way back then, though.
I agree, but I'll also point this out: is wrestling in like, okay, I'm gonna say from the time of the late 1800s to the late 70s, wrestling in like mostly in the United States was an institution. It was a part of the Americana tradition. You would see it everywhere.
Exactly.
The White House has archived wrestling matches, but see, the difference is back then it was so well protected and people believed it.
Facts.
Which is it's a bygone era, but like you can't replicate the times of like Luthez and Buddy Rogers going 2 hours in a beautiful match. Nobody can ever replicate that. But I also like what's happened since the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, like
the
that's fact. Yes. Wrestling was missing that for so long. And like they had guys like Dusty Rhodes, Michael Hayes, you know,
Junkyard.
Junkyard Dog. I love Junkyard Dog. He's underrated, but like they had the entertainers, but people complain because like people love to complain about wrestling for no reason. And it's like, why do you want it to fail if you say that you love it?
Yes. I think this biggest problem with wrestling today is like back then though, you had entertainment though, but you had it serious, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't know, like wrestling's been down for a long time. Here's the thing though. Social media for one that killed wrestling.
Social media's killed like a lot of forms of entertainment.
Because back in the day though, we didn't hear about these leaks of returning or injuries or suspensions, all that stuff.
True.
So
and okay, in my opinion, like wrestling's like the last golden era of wrestling was the ruthless aggression era.
facts.
And that died first when Eddie passed away, and then when Chris Benoit, that tragedy occurred. That's when
the early parts of the PG era wasn't that bad though. It was pretty good though.
It wasn't bad.
It's just when it came before, after the Benoit tragedy.
Which, okay, we had this debate on the first episode with Captain Law. I say this about Chris Benoit. I say to Chris Benoit is I don't like Chris Benoit the man for what happened. I will never love Chris Benoit the man. He killed his wife and his son. But in the ring,
fantastic 10 out of 10 wrestler.
He was probably one of, if not the best wrestler to ever lace up a pair of boots and wrestle. He can get a good match out of anybody.
My favorite moment with him was at WrestleMania 20 event. Him and Eddie Guerrero holding up the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship, and they hugged and cried.
That's what wrestling is all about.
That's one of the emotional moments of all time.
Because you had the two best pound for pound wrestlers who had just scratched and clawed for so long, and they finally got the big one at the biggest stage of them all, at the most famous arena.
After being rejected by WCW.
Fuck WCW.
Yeah, like, dude, they missed out so many opportunities. Like, yeah, they got their star power with Hogan and Macho Man and Kevin Nash.
Which is not bad. That has its market, but they literally had guys like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit and Raven, and you couldn't do anything with fucking those guys.
Raven? What about me? What about Raven?
Shut up, Scott. Shut up, bitch.
Oh my.
But, like, that was a beautiful moment in history when it felt like good had truly won.
Exactly, though. Say what you want about Triple H in that reign and terror, though.
But he put Benoit over like $1 million.
Dude, he tapped out like a bitch.
And that's what made it so good. A pinfall is a pinfall, but like when somebody taps out,
and when
it's so satisfying.
Yeah, like especially if it's for the title and you win the title by making the champ submit.
And plus, Sean was there to have a good time.
Exactly. And then, of course, the following month at Backlash, they had a rematch. And then, of course, they were in Montreal.
Who's your daddy, Montreal?
Well, that was a year later, but still.
Go to the segment.
But that crowd was booing HBK, even though he was still a face.
Okay. Have you heard recently what's come out about the screw job? Who was the one that came up with the finish?
Really? No.
So on Dark Side of the Ring, and this was confirmed by multiple people, Jim Cornette was the man that suggested the screw job finish to Vince, and Vince went with it.
What?
So the story goes that Cornette was reading a book about old wrestling, and there was another screw job that happened in Montreal back in the 30s. It was Strangler Lewis didn't want to drop the belt. It was all this thing. There's just a big story about it. But Cornette was like, Vince, just fucking screw him. Get Sean to the sharpshooter, just count him out and leave the ring. And they did it.
Here's my thing, though. But Cornette has talked a lot of crap about the Montreal screw job, and he hates Shawn Michaels, though.
No shit.
And
then he addressed that because I wanted to watch this. He was like, I hated Shawn. But Brett was going to leave and tarnish the belt. And we had to do something. And I'm like, you couldn't have dropped it to somebody different?
No,
Shamrock,
here,
maybe?
here's the thing, though. It would not have elevated wrestling, though.
It would not have gotten wrestling. I agree. It needed to happen, but it sucks that it happened and like Brett never recovered from it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. HBK became the biggest heel in the company. Well, Vince did, though. HBK was second.
And then from that rose Steve Austin.
Stone Cold
Yes.
Steve Austin.
But like what they did to Brett, like I don't like what they did. I understand why they did it, but there should have been a better way to handle it, to be honest with you. I mean,
So Brett said this in the Broken Skull Sessions episode with Stone Cold. Originally, he was okay with putting Shawn over at Montreal.
and then all the stuff happened.
And then what happened was, Brett told him this and stuff, and then HBK said if the roles were reversed, he would have not done it. That's why Brett refused to do it.
Damn it, Shawn.
Of course, seriously, Shawn was a different person at the time, though.
Shawn was high on somas.
No, he was high on Sunny, if you get what I'm saying.
Had some sunny days.
Well,
then,
him and Brett apparently were humping Sunny in the back.
His favorite drink was Sunny D's nuts. but but Cornette told a lot of stories about the screw job, and that's one of the most fascinating things to me is the screw job.
Seriously, where would wrestling be at without that screw job for both companies?
It wouldn't. Okay, I think that had the screw job not occurred, we'd be talking about something different.
I mean, would WWE and WCW
even exist
anymore?
WCW never should have went out of business. I'm just going to say this: they were never meant to die, and they made mistakes, but okay. I get that it would have been a lot more to keep it going, but I sometimes think about what if Vince actually did it, and what if he kept WCW going, and we got a proper invasion.
So originally, before WWE bought WCW, they were trying to do a whole reboot. They were going to take a couple months off, and Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo will be the owners now.
Oh God!
Have a brand new reboot and everything.
Which, okay, I'm glad that some guys from WCW went and defected, but and then we did kind of get the spiritual successor in TNA,
before a certain Hulkster
brother. But I just same with ECW. Though I understand why it went out of business because Paul Heyman didn't pay anybody.
Oh yeah, but
that to me just okay. Can we both agree here that prime ECW was one of the best kind of eras and promotions of all time? It was just one of
Paul Heyman was genius.
Genius.
He discovered cruiserweights way before WCW and WWF. He discovered doing Rubik's Grish, the Attitude Era stuff before WWF was doing it.
Okay. There's always the one that found it first and the one that found it big. Heyman should be looked at as the man that saved professional wrestling in the 1990s.
Facts, he discovered guys like Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis. He elevated Boston.
Here's an interesting question to pose to you. Had ECW not gone out of business, what current stars and stars that were around the time that never got to ECW, who would you have wanted to see in ECW? I have some names, but do you have any names that you want to see in ECW?
Ugh.
Prime ECW.
I don't know, really.
I can throw a name out there for you. One of the bigger names that pops into my head. For one, Moxley.
Hey,
Eddie Kingston also comes to mind.
I thought you were talking about back then, right in the 90s in 2001.
I mean, not in 2001, but if they had carried on, if the Mox from CZW could go back and be in the ECW of old,
especially in, oh man,
The Switchblade conspiracy.
Ugh. I mean, hey, Edwards right now. I mean, who?
Also, Eddie Kingston. I think
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston in prime ECW would have incited riots.
Facts.
I point at Samoa Joe.
Ooh. I mean, he's already a killer. What does he need weapons for?
He'd be like, imagine prime Samoa Joe versus prime Taz.
Oh,
I point to that.
Oh, that's a lot like this shit. And,
of course, CM Punk in the prime days of ECW would have been probably the biggest star.
Oh, he'd be the biggest dick heel, probably.
Oh, he would have incited riots too.
Imagine Punk versus Sandman.
Oh God, you want to get hardcore?
Especially like the Straight Edge Society stuff.
Yeah. Straight Edge Society in ECW would have been one of the best things of all time.
The heat, brother.
The heat of all heat, raining down upon this man. Heyman was also asked this question. He gave names out like Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler. He gave out a name. I was interested. Bryan Danielson.
I can see that, honestly.
He would have been like their pure wrestler.
Hey, don't forget about a certain guy named Nigel McGuinness.
Okay. Sideway. Nigel McGuinness right now, if we look back at what that man did in like 2007 in Ring of Honor, if he was still healthy today,
it would have been crazy.
I advise any one of you, if you've never seen a Nigel McGuinness match, go find the one with like Danielson, where like the pure title and the world title are being unified. Watch that match, and you will see what wrestling is all about, because that's one of the best.
Or when he was Desmond Wolfe in TNA, him versus Kurt Angle.
That was a really good match too.
I mean, him and the Pope was a good match.
Pope's underrated too.
Yeah, but they were going to get pushed, but Hulk Hogan wanted Abyss of Mania, brother.
Hey, brother. Like Abyss is okay. I don't blame. That's the one thing I'll agree with. Because Abyss ruled.
But come on.
Not at that time.
The fans want Desmond Wolfe or the Pope.
Desmond Wolfe as the TNA champion could have been some good shit.
Yeah, look at TNA had some weird gimmicks.
Oh yeah, they had fucking Orlando Jordan covered in caution tape fucking coming on himself.
And then you also got a shark that thinks he's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Don't talk shit about my dad. Curry Man
that sucks.
Curry Man.
Which is also Christopher Daniels.
Which is also Chris Daniel. They got the fucking Rainbow Express.
I never, in 2002, like early TNA, New Jack and Shark Boy were tag team partners.
Why? Of all the things that you could have done with that money, you bring in the most dangerous wrestler to ever step foot in the ring and New Jack, and you put them in the ring together.
Yeah, they were taking even the second where they were in the swimming pool together.
I bet New Jack was like, "Fuck!"
But it was so hilarious though. It's like the most random team ever.
Have you heard the rumor that when Carlito and Jesus stabbed Cena in 2004, that was going to be New Jack making his debut?
It was supposed to be New Jack. What the?
That would have been awesome.
Can you imagine the pop?
Especially if they were in like Philly.
Oh.
And they somehow got the license to use the Dre song. Just like Cena would have been shitting bricks.
Golly, New Jack versus Cena though. I don't know how.
That's the weirdest match I've ever heard.
Cena versus Sabu was weird.
That was okay. I like their matches. That it's like unique matches, very unique.
But I don't know about New Jack and Cena. Ugh.
New Jack and Cena would have been like putting that. Okay, that would have been like putting the Big Show versus like fucking Tiger Mask. Like it just wouldn't have worked.
He may have tried to stab Cena, honestly.
I mean, he stabbed Gypsy Joe like 44 times.
Oh my god!
He threw Vic Grimes off a 40-foot scaffold.
But that was for like Vic Grimes messing up and laying on top of New Jack's head. He was like, bombs away.
But yeet. And then there was mass transit.
Ugh.
We're not going to talk about mass transit. Then I would say from New Jack and there comes to Nick Gage. What do you think about Nick Gage?
So I didn't know about him until like Dark Side of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is interesting.
MDK all day. He's crazy.
But no. Matt Cardona though, that's my.
He's having the time of his life. He got an endorsement from Vince Russo.
Yeah, then like he came for a match, the Vince McMahon do-rag attire.
Say what you want about it. He's playing the game right. He's being as anti-GCW as he can possibly be. He has Velcro on the belt. He dressed up like Vince McMahon and defended the title. He has a new belt, the GCW Universal Championship. He has an endorsement from Vince Russo. The next time they're in like the arena like that they are always in, the fans are gonna stab him to fucking death.
Like, bro, where was this? He might have WWE let him do this stuff in WWE.
I'm just gonna say they missed the fucking boat with this guy.
You know, this is a crazy comparison, but look at him and Bob Backlund. Okay, when they were faces, everybody loved them.
I have never eaten marijuana.
Yeah, but like nobody thought when they turned heel they would end up like they are right now. They were.
Bob Backlund heel turn in '94 is underrated. Don't fucking at me.
That was
great.
Random turn heel, but like it worked. Just like Matt Cardona when he's a heel and he's working well.
He's working probably better than he's ever worked.
Facts.
And I watched the Nick Gage Cardona death match, and the commentators the whole time were fucking shitting all over him. They were just like, he played with action figures, they shoved him up his ass.
What the?
And then there was the line of the fucking night. The line of the night. Shout out to Chelsea Green with the anal lube. What the fuck?
What
the fuck? You got fucking Nick Gage just breaking light tubes over his head, getting powerbombed into a fucking action figure display case. It was the craziest shit known to man. But it's just Nick. Okay, Nick Gage died for 7 minutes. He died for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And came back to life and wrestled the next day.
What?
It wasn't the next day. He died for 7 minutes and then he wrestled the very next week.
Bruh.
He said, I'm not going to go out that way.
And then he also robbed a bank.
He robbed a bank with no mask on Christmas. He bought new Jordans with the money.
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me he's
okay? So we obviously know Deadlock.
Yeah.
So Johnny was he worked for CZW in the mid 2000s. He has a lot of stories about CZW, and I wouldn't call him friends with Gage, but he knew Gage. And Johnny said that when the bank robbing incident went down, he couldn't believe it. But Nick Gage just showed up the next day, just like nothing ever happened.
Wow.
To a CZW show. He had a Big Mac and fucking Jordans. It was he's crazy. He's fucking crazy. But the fact that Tony Khan thought in 2021 against Chris Jericho, now is the time to bring Nick Gage to national television.
With a pizza cutter.
During a Domino's ad. Whoever planned that, Jerry Lynn, I'm looking at you. Good job.
Or how are you supposed to hate Bruce Pritchard?
Pritchard would look at that and be like, no, we didn't do it. It's just not good.
Hey, because apparently WWE and AEW is working under the same people.
And who the fuck said that?
It's me, Austin. It's me, Austin. It was me all along.
It's me, Moxley. It was me all along, Moxley.
Dude, Moxley's like, oh no. Now with Punk in WWE though, with AEW, I mean, it's me, Punk.
That would be the biggest fuck you.
Of CM Punk.
Now, I will say, with Punk in AEW, there's a lot of matches that he could have. If you had to narrow them down, which ones would you want to see from Punk?
CM Punk versus the Bull Up Dog King Omega facing Japan. That'd be a 7-star classic.
Be a 7-star classic, not even in the Tokyo Dome, in the fucking Tokyo public bathroom.
But okay, it's serious though. Punk versus Omega, obviously, dude.
Obviously,
that has to happen.
That needs to happen.
Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
That's gonna happen. We all know that's gonna happen as soon as Cody comes back. I'm like, Punk, come over here.
Punk versus Malachi Black.
I second this. I want that match. Good match. Would you also say Jungle Boy?
Yeah, he mentioned that though. I'm like, whoa. And he also
yeah. Who else did he mention?
I can't remember. But you know that, okay, this is maybe random though, but why not Punk versus Luchasaurus?
It's random, but I would pay to see it.
A dinosaur.
Are we going to ignore the fact that currently within AEW, Colt Cabana is also there?
Oh,
I don't know what the situation is between them.
But if somehow AEW can manage to make this into a storyline,
could you imagine that fucking storyline?
Like, and it turns into like, you know, the Brawl for All or something like that.
The Brawl for All.
Like, I don't know, I don't think they should not do that match though. Like,
fucking Cabana beats Punk and they fucking bring back Butterbean for All Out.
Oh god.
But I think they should reference it. But like, they shouldn't even make it a match. It wouldn't work.
Only way it would work if they both agree to just go out there and have fun.
Which they can have a good match. They were having classics back in the day. They were fucking going at it.
Like, they got the story though. They can bring out that real life heat, but like
in court.
Yeah.
I don't think that's okay. Wrestling and courtrooms do not go together.
Right.
Okay. I don't care what is the trial. I don't care if it's Bruiser Brody being fucking stabbed to death in fucking Puerto Rico. I don't care if it's the steroid trial. It doesn't matter.
I forgot. Like, didn't like Punk forget to pay Colt Cabana's fees or something like that? Like, I can't.
I do believe that Punk did not pay the legal fee.
What, Punk? Come on, bro.
What the fuck, Phil? Lillian. Okay, but then people want AJ Lee to come back to wrestling, and Punk's like, no, her neck is fucked.
Yeah, which I was shocked to find out. I'm like, what?
Then I'm like, rest easy then.
Dude, imagine if she comes back as his manager versus Malachi Black, who brings in Zelina Vega.
Imagine the pop that thought like fucking Punk is like on the mat. Malachi Black's gonna set for the fucking Black Mass or whatever he calls it. I'm gonna call it the fucking Shirley Temple. And so it's like he set it for the Shirley Temple. And all of a sudden, out from the stage, that they make no mention of like the crowd's getting hot. Here comes AJ, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, "That's AJ." Punk sees her ringside, and he's like, "Turn away, don't just please turn away." And then Thea, when she's not creating false labor unions, comes out and then drags her hair down or some shit like that. Like, that's a big moment.
Yeah, but like you're saying, will AJ Lee be like physically able to?
Maybe AJ could just fucking slap her.
Slap that.
That's easy enough.
I don't know. That's just
That's a personal problem. But I think we're gonna have one more topic. And then we're going to call this has probably been the funnest one.
Yeah, we're going to do this one more time.
We got to do this one more time. But I'm going to ask this. And it needs to be mentioned. Do you want to hear a story I've been saving just in case for when you come on here?
Okay. Oh, I'm scared about this one.
It's a TBW story.
Okay. I thought, okay, so it's not about making high school, about me and pep rallies. Okay, that's good.
It is not. It is not about that.
We'll have to say that for the next time.
We're going to bring that up next time. But I'm going to bring up this story because it's funny for all the wrong reasons.
Oh shit.
I want you to picture this car ride, right? I'm not going to name names. I'm going to use code names here, right?
Okay.
So, driving the car is Mr. Wu-Tang. If you can guess who that is.
Yeah.
In the passenger seat is the Joker. I am on the driver's side back seat. Sitting beside me is, in fact, Cameron Grimes. So,
I'm feeling high just listening to this.
we are just driving, and I'm listening to these stories and conversation topics, which range from I have a lump on my ass to we should kill a certain race of people. It was fucked up. It was fucked up. Okay, we went to Chili's. I forgot to mention also Matthew Joseph was there. Pete Matthew Joseph, he's a real one. He's a real one. Gotta love Matt. But anyway, we're in the Chili's. I ordered 2 boxes of quesadillas to take home. So we are just driving around Gallatin, right?
Yeah.
Talking about whatever the fuck we're talking about. I'm chowing down on these quesadillas, and fucking Cameron Grimes looks at me and fucking goes, "I'm one of those." And I'm like, I'm going to let you try that one more time. I'm going to let you try that one more time. Then the Joker in the front says, "Let's go to Gabe's." I'm like, pardon? What is that? And he's like, "It's a bargain store." I'm like, okay, we can go there. We can go. Right?
Yeah.
So this group of people walks in. I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable because Wu-Tang Man goes over to the women's section and starts ogling at undergarments.
Oh.
Then he tried to buy fake Timbs. It just didn't work. So the Joker is angsting in the fucking corner. He does not want to be here. He's saying very strange things like, "I wish I had a knife." I don't know what that means. Matthew Joseph is being a nice guy. He's probably the nicest one in that car, to be honest with you. Cameron Grimes is holding what would later, he pretty much was holding my outfit and was trying to copy me. And then you have me checking out just random things, just trying to pass the time, when all of a sudden I hear a loud, wet, sloppy, skin-flapping fart coming from the women's section. And I'm starting to question my life choices. By this point, it's 9:30 at night, right?
Yeah.
We're all okay. I'm fucking tired, right? This is the next part I'm not too proud of.
Oh my.
The next part I'm not too proud of. So
what did you do?
The Wu-Tang Man then says to me, "Let's go to a gas station and get something to eat." I'm like, "We just ate Chili's." And he's like, I don't care. Let's do it. Learn to like it. And I'm like, okay. So we go to this gas station, and he's like, you look a little bit dehydrated, which is fucking random. So I'm like, I'll show you, motherfucker. So I bought this giant thing of water and a giant bag of peppermints because I was not feeling well. I was dealing with car sickness. I get car sick easily. Yeah. That's a fun fact about me. So I'm in the back with this giant thing of fucking spring water in like a 3-gallon thing. I have a box of Starlight Mints, and you just hear like crunching, and Gabe's like, and he's kayfabe. But Wu-Tang Man is like, what are you doing back there? And I'm like, minty fresh. I was out of my mind. I was fucking disoriented. I was dizzy. The fucking cheese from the quesadilla had fucking clogged my whole system up. I was fucking constipated. I was suffering. And the whole time on the radio, we're just repeating the whole trip to and from is Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. So I'm in a fever dream hell, right?
Yeah.
I get back home. I'm wearing a flannel. My flannel is buttoned all the way down. I am sweating profusely. I have stains on my pants. I don't know where I fucking got them.
Oh my God.
And I'm holding a giant water and a giant thing of peppermints. And my dad, you met my dad.
Yeah.
He looks at me up and down and he goes, son, you know that I love you more than anything. But you got to stop this shit. And that is the end of story time.
Next time that we get on here, I got some funny stories to tell.
Okay, next time with Little Mike, it's just going to be story time. We're going to tell stories, and it's going to be a good one. Until then,
I got some interesting ones from one day from football. School.
Oh God.
Times in school.
I will say this. You mentioned them earlier. I have been trying to, because admittedly, me and Lake have been talking about this, but I want to get Corey on here one time and just fucking chat, or hell, like get all three of you.
Oh,
we can have like more than 2 people in here. We can get like up to fucking 8.
Yeah. Ooh.
Which is that's fucking tantalizing. We get the entire fucking UWA roster fucking in here talking about fucking dicks. But
next time be story time with Little Mike.
Next time will be story time with Little Mike. Until then, this has been the Unfiltered podcast. Little Mike, you have anything you want to fucking plug?
Hey, just get ready for last rites, baby.
I agree. I'm probably gonna walk out with like 4th degree burns. But we'll see about that. But last rites, couple weeks. We're all excited.
And watch the crate challenge.
Yes, watch the crate challenge for Little Mike. I'm Jake Kim. This has been the Unfiltered podcast. Good vibes for all. Have a good night.